Welcome everyone to the first episode of Tactical Tadka. This will be our new series where we sort of take important matches and talk about, the tactical details of every game. And unfortunately, we start with the game that we were expecting a lot out of, the UCL game between Liverpool and Real Madrid at Anfield. हम काफ़ी lucky हैं because we came out only 1-0 down from that game, and we have Thibaut Courtois and to an extent Militao to thank for that, but this was a disastrous game. And ऐसा लगता है कि जब भी हम बड़ी टीम्स के साथ खेलते हैं जो अच्छे से डिफेंड कर सकती हैं, I mean, we are back to what we were doing last season. Again, what I see between this season and last season is just हम defend अच्छा कर रहे हैं because obviously we have Carreras and Dean now, but attack and midfield is as dead as it was last season. So I'm very disappointed in this game, but this just shows that we have like a lot to work on. I mean, we just don't have the intensity. Like Atletico के against भी हमने यही देखा कि they just wanted the ball more. Liverpool was pressing high. Apart from like the first 10-15 minutes, उसमें भी पहले 5 मिनट of course we had to survive. उसके बाद जो हमें 10-15 मिनट की possession रखी and थोड़े chances बने, and उसके बाद then we were just dead. We just had 2 shots on target, and compared to their I think 8 or 10. I mean, despite some of those chances coming as long shots from Szoboszlai, Courtois was phenomenal. But the fact that we conceded so many set pieces in the second half, which eventually led to the goal as well, shows that we still need to work on our set pieces as well. So overall, I will give it like a 4 out of 10 performance. We are very lucky to come out just 1-0. Although on the other side, I'm not very dejected. Again, my expectations from this Real Madrid do not go up and down. I said it time and again कि ये Barcelona side के against जो हम खेल रहे हैं, they are a very shit team. They can't defend well. They have good players, but tactically they are very shit, at least compared to last season. So, in my opinion, winning against Barca, that too at home, is not that big of an achievement. So I wasn't expecting कि हम Barca को हरा के and even Valencia को हरा के, who've been struggling, एकदम से away at Anfield जीत जाएंगे despite Liverpool struggling, right? So and it always happens that teams who are struggling like big teams, they always turn up against Real Madrid, right? Because Real Madrid is the game. Calendar पे ऐसे mark करके रखते हैं लोग. So let's talk about the starting lineup. I thought the starting lineup was perfect. I couldn't have any complaints. Franco is injured, so it's not as if Brahim would have started anyway. But in my opinion, Kamavinga in these games is very important, especially because Guler, when he's starting, he cannot keep up with the intensity and the physicality sometimes. So the starting lineup was perfect. I wouldn't have changed anything. The things that I have a problem with is how the team was set up, especially putting Kamavinga again on the right wing. I know it worked against Barca, but we would have been better if Kamavinga was in the center and maybe Guler on the right. So this did not work out. It seemed like we set up with the players of 4-4-2, but we ended up trying to play 4-3-3, and in the end we didn't neither, so कुछ भी नहीं कर पाए. The right wing was completely empty. Liverpool anticipated that and completely packed the left wing. So Vinicius, I know people will keep saying Bradley sort of dominated him, and he did to an extent, but at the same time Vinicius had no space on the left at all. एक टाइम था जब Carreras, Vinicius, Mbappe and Jude all were on the left wing. So I feel like that sort of hindered us quite a lot क्योंकि right wing से कुछ था ही नहीं. And going forward, what I'd like to see is, now that Trent is back, and we'll talk about this, कि Valverde plays a bit more on the right wing, at least until say Franco is not fit again, and Brahim, I'm assuming, will not start most games. So I want us to pose a threat on from the right wing, or we need Mbappe and Vinicius to be the front two, just like we had Rodrigo and Vinicius in the season that we won the UCL, right? Play as a 4-4-2 and try and sort of just have some more game plan when we go forward. Like ऐसा लग रहा था we became just static in possession. We had 60% or 61% possession compared to Liverpool, and there was no penetration at all. So it was quite disappointing. The second thing is the team lacks intensity in the games. The moment Liverpool pressed us, we just started giving the ball away. I was very happy with Carreras, but Dean, Gulair, to an extent even Kamavinga at times just succumbed to pressure. Like we rarely miss that Cruz slash Modric figure where if the opposition is pressing, we are calm in possession, and we did not see that. So I think that's one of the main problems that we need to tackle going forward. अब बात करते हैं subs की. I think that's one of the biggest sort of criticisms of Javi, but at the same time, I just feel that even subs wouldn't have changed anything. I think the game was sort of set from the moment Germany's handball penalty shout went up. I think the game was set. Um, I I did not see a way back. I think Brahim should have come on earlier. Uh, that would have given us some width on the right. He came on too late. Robertson was tired, so kuch ho sakta tha. But I feel like the subs. I mean, looking at our bench strength, I mean, Rodrigo was an option and he did come on. But again, Rodrigo on the right is, I mean, as good as sort of Brahim on the right. So I wasn't expecting anything from them. Um, we lack a bit of firepower from the bench, and what I'm truly surprised about is why are we not using Gonzalo Garcia or even Endrick, right? At times when the opposition is defending deep and they're good at defending, so Liverpool defending very, very well. They did to us what we did to Barcelona. So at times when teams are defending very deep, we need a central presence. And Mbappe is not that guy, right? We did not get Mbappe to sit in the middle and wait for headers or tap-ins, right? He's the guy who wants the ball at his feet and who'll try and dribble and then score. We need a Gonzalo Garcia or an Endrick, basically Joselu. That's why we're missing Joselu, right? अगर वो होता है तो Jude has more space in the box, Mbappe will have more space in the box, and we will be able to do more. So I really, really want Alonso to sort of use a striker. This is something that we should have done last season as well when Ancelotti did not bring on a striker against say Arsenal who were defending very deep. So I feel like Alonso is doing everything well in small games, and then in big games he goes back to sort of the tried and tested and afraid to make changes, especially when we are down. I really, really hope that Alonso sort of changes this and takes some risk, especially when you're losing, right? We're already losing. Bring on a Gonzalo Garcia and see how that changes, right? So that's what I would have liked to see, which we did not see. But the subs were like very, I mean, there was no impact at all. I mean, similarly, Trent came on, which is good. I feel bad for Trent because he got booed, and I don't think he should. But at the same time, I mean, when you bring someone like Trent on and he's going to put in crosses and there's no one to take crosses, it's just pointless. So, yeah, that's my opinion on the starting lineup and the subs. I do feel this is our strongest starting lineup, with some changes when Franco is back to play him versus Gulair slash Kamavinga. Uh, but in my opinion, right now at least, this seems to be our most best starting lineup in big games at least. Obviously, there will be rotations and everything. Now, talking about my man of the match, of course, horrible performances by most of the teams, but there were some bright sparks. I think obviously Courtois was the man of the match, hands down. But Alvaro Carreras has shrugged off his bad performance against Atletico and some other games, and he seems to be almost on the top of his game. He kept Salah in the back of his pocket for most of the match. Obviously, there was one or two chances here and there, but he was very, very strong defensively. Attacking wise, again, because the left was so crowded, he did not get a chance to do anything there. Militao again had a really good game. I mean, it's crazy how well he's playing, and I really hope that he can stay fit. Along with Charmany, who also had a decent game, but not his best. But TK wasn't that bad. I would go to the extent and say that Vinicius also had a decent game. It's just that there was no game plan. Like at some points we had, we tried to attack them on the counter, and then everything became static. We just waited for them to get back into position. And I would have liked to see Vinicius and Mbappe take more risks. So, in terms of poor performances, I mean, a lot of them. I'll start with Dean. In my opinion, he was the worst player for Real Madrid. I mean, he was doing everything wrong. He defended poorly. He gave the ball away a lot of times cheaply. He committed cheap fouls. Uh, I think everything was going wrong for Dean, and really, I know he's very young, but if he's supposed to be a starter this season for us, especially in big games, we need him to sort of step up and not be overwhelmed by the occasion. We saw Carreras do that. We need Dean to do this as well. And not just that, I mean, set piece defending. I mean, it's crazy that we are so bad at defending set pieces, and we saw that Dean aerially is not that good, and we saw Atletico score a lot of goals on him when they put in crosses, right? So I genuinely feel that Dean needs to step up, especially in big games. He's a great player, but he needs to improve. There's no doubt about that. Um, in terms of good performance, I think Valverde and Jude were also decent. I wouldn't say they were bad or good, but again, Jude gave up that stupid foul. There was no need for that foul to be given, uh, and I would expect sort of a bit more from him in terms of not getting frustrated and making these decisions. Gulair was another person that I genuinely think that is not able to keep up. So he has. That's the thing. We need Gulair in the starting lineup because of what he brings, but at the same time, he has so many weaknesses, especially against intense physical sides, that it's almost a liability in the midfield. He can't keep up with the pressing. He can't keep up with the intensity. He had a great ball from Kamavinga, which he could have brought down and taken a shot, but he tried to pass it to Mbappe. I mean, I know वो हुक्का सेट करने की कोशिश कर रहा है, but I generally I'm a bit worried, not for the future because obviously he's very young and he can improve just like Dean. But if this season we have to rely on Gulair for big matches, it's a bit of a worry that he cannot keep up. And that's why I think that in the UCL we are going to struggle. We're going to be fine in the league. I think he's showing immense, you know, ability against small teams who don't press us that much. But he's definitely struggling against the big teams. I don't think he had a great game against Barca. Atletico was a mixed bag. He gave away the penalty, and now it's Liverpool, right? So we see a trend. It's not just a small sample anymore. Uh, what else do I want to talk about? I will also commend Liverpool. I feel like Fritz turned up, Soboslai turned up, and we got absolutely dominated in the midfield by Soboslai, McAllister, and I think Gravenbach. Uh, Despite playing four midfielders, it's sad that we got overwhelmed by three of their midfielders. So I'm very you know concerned. The other thing was a lack of sort of pressing that we saw against Barca. We did not see the same pressing and same will to win the ball back against um, uh, this team. So I really hope that we can sort of shrug this off. The bad thing, or it's a good thing and a bad thing. The bad thing is that we are not going to face a big team until we play City in a month. So it's not as we're going to get more practice. We'll be playing Rayo, which is a tough game, but at the same time, that big team. I think we're going to do well against teams in La Liga, even if they're sometimes tough and we have to grind out results. But against big teams, we are going to struggle. Of course, he'll be judged, closer towards March and April on his success, because right now against big teams we look like the same team as last season. We do not look like Alonso's team. Uh, it has something to do with the lack of leadership in the team as well. ऐसा लगता है कि टीम की फट जाती है जब they are put in this position and there's no fight to sort of actually crawl back. This we've seen since last season, and I think Cruz, Modric, and some of the elder players like Benzema leaving has a huge thing to sort of huge reason why this is the case, and we really need some big players to step up and show leadership, which is lacking a lot. So that's why I really hope that we sort of start improving. I think if this game was at home, it would have been a much different story. It would have been closer to say the Barca game, but it's just away at Anfield, and then the way we've been performing against big teams, I'm not surprised with this result. I was like, hoping for more, but I'm not surprised with this result. And again, it takes time. It's only now that I think Bayern are the best team, best club in the world right now, along with maybe Arsenal and PSG somewhere there. And Bayern were absolutely destroying PSG, and this company side was, you know, a failure last season. So it takes time. It's just that at Real Madrid you don't get a lot of time, but I feel like the board will put faith into Alonso and let him try and develop this team, because this hasn't been done at Real Madrid for a long time, right? So this is the first time after ages. Maybe Del Bosque tried to put in a system, but this is after ages that someone is trying to put a proper system in, and this is going to be beneficial. It's just that at Real Madrid, success is always against big teams. So let's see how it goes. uh, मुझे कमेंट्स में बताइए what would you like to see in the coming games. We have a few injuries. We have Charmany, I think Valverde out, so Kamavinga will need to step up. I think Mbappe has gone down as well. He had a poor game. He was giving the ball away cheaply, getting frustrated, and it was in a pretty side. He's not been as clinical as well in the last few games, so I really want him to step up and sort of have a good game. Maybe even rest him for a home game if he can. I want to see more of Gonzalo Garcia, and yeah, I want to see more of Kamavinga in a more creative role as well. Because if he can do that, then maybe we can try and drop Guler and play some other right winger, or maybe even Ceballos in some games, right? So I really want to see Kamavinga sort of step up and take that attacking role. Although with Chouameni out, it might be a bit hard. But let's see. Let me know in the comments, who do you think uh, was the worst performer on the team, and how would you rate this Alonso performance against Liverpool?